What's going on, guys? It's Noah just checking in, and today we're going to talk about how life can beat you down. Life can absolutely chew you up and spit you out. And when you are weak, when you are feeble, when you are sensitive, when you are vulnerable, after having gone through something really difficult in life, I don't care what it is, it doesn't matter for the sake of this video, so it can be whatever. Whatever circumstance, situation, or event that you have experienced that's been really hard on you. A lot of you can attest, just as I can, that after having gone through something major, be it depression, the loss of a loved one, whatever, we can feel very, very unsure of ourselves. It's easy to feel intimidated by the world and by life and by basic situations. And when I try to offer general words of hope, basic advice, common sense stuff, when I just share from the heart, use what I would call just a relatively sound emotional intelligence, one thing I tell people, and I'd like to reassert to myself, is that it's extraordinarily important to not let yourself down as often as you can. Be someone you can be proud of. Don't let yourself down beyond being afraid of letting others down. I think there's this fear and there's this sense that we have to behave in such a way, act in such a way, and do things in accordance with other people's wants, desires, needs, expectations, what have you. In certain respects in your life, you have to do that anyway. Let's just say like employment, if you are a working man or woman. But I think people lose sight of the fact that when you let yourself down, especially when your confidence is low, especially when your sense of self and your sense of identity is weakened, certainly less sturdy than normal, it is so important to be able to follow through with even basic things in order to build up that confidence again, in order to build up that sense of self, that sense of pride, that sense of dignity, that sense of self-esteem. You have to be able to follow through with things. You have to be someone you can be proud of. You have to be able to not let yourself down, so that you can prove to yourself that you can get back up from being as far down as you got. Some of you might be watching this video who have been extraordinarily low. Let's just say one step away from falling into hell. The end, the bottom of the barrel. Other people's lows might not be as low, but they might still be low enough to affect you, and you need all the help you can get. And so what I have found is that, coming out of the depression I've been in, the anxiety that I have suffered from, the treatment-resistant nature of it, trying to get a footing in this world has been hard. And when I let myself down in the most basic of ways, when I break personal goals, when I sacrifice certain things that morally I really believe strongly in, even when I don't keep my word, something like that, it makes it that much harder to come back. It makes it that much harder to get the ball rolling, to feeling well again. And when you don't have a lot to spare, you really can't afford even these minor lapses. And I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm speaking from the experiences of others who have opened up to me and shared, both here online and in my day-to-day life. You have to prove to yourself that you can do this. You have to prove to yourself that you can be a man or woman of integrity. You have to prove to yourself that you're capable of more, that you can be disciplined, even in the most basic of ways. You could, even if you make like a day goal, a goal for a certain day, I want to get through this day and do X, Y, or Z. Follow through with that and build up that rapport with yourself. Every single thing I set out to do that I accomplish, be it an extraordinarily minute to something more large and a bigger scale, every success is a building block for reestablishing who I am, my identity as a person who really, for all intents and purposes, lost his identity when I was terribly ill. You have to find a new one, and if you keep letting yourself down, it just makes it that much harder to find that identity, to find that purpose, to get yourself on solid ground. So I'm not trying to preach at you, although this sounds so fucking preachy, but I just want to encourage you to let yourself succeed. Let yourself Follow through. Let yourself be someone you can be proud of, because if you can be proud of you, others will reciprocate that energy. You will then have a foundation to take off in life and assert yourself somewhere that can make you happy. And letting yourself down, it just breaks down that confidence that you have what it takes to come back from something hard. I think even if you're someone who's relatively stable, I think you can understand that it's very confusing and misleading to not be what you're capable of being, I guess. I've just found that when I don't follow through, when I compromise, it makes it harder to like me. It makes it harder to like myself. It makes it harder to feel assured and comforted in the man I am and the man I want to be, and it makes the whole future seem more gloomy. But when I can follow through, when I can succeed, even in small ways to bigger ways, it just empowers me, and it builds me up, and it gives me the confidence I need to set bigger goals and to do more. And before you know it, you're someone you can be proud of, even on basic ways. What your goals and your desires can be big or small, but if you can't prove to yourself that you're worthy of them, if you can't prove to yourself that you can be that person, you won't be. And you'll get further lost in a sense of insecurity and uncertainty. And of course, it can lead back into depression and anxiety. You need to prove to yourself you can. And so that's all. I find myself writing this a lot to people that message me when I think it's appropriate. And of course, I say this to myself because honestly, I mostly refer to my own personal experiences, and it rings so true. So I hope you got something out of it. Like I said, that shit sounded ranty as all hell. It sounded preachy as all hell, but it just rings so much truth to me, and I just hopefully maybe I have faith that it can bring some truth to you. This is not new information, this is not novel, but it's really important to me. And I think it can really be useful and helpful to people that are struggling to find their footing in life after suffering something really major, something really traumatic. Just be someone you can be proud of on a day-to-day basis. Build up that pride, build up that dignity, build up that confidence, build up that sense of self, and hold on to it tight. And don't let yourself down as much as you can. Try not to let yourself down too much, because like I already said, and I don't want to repeat it too much, every time you let yourself down, you lose a little bit of yourself. You lose a little sense of who you are. And it's really important to feel proud of who you are. It's really important to be someone you can be proud of. I've repeated that so many times, but it should be repeated a million times, Maybe that's something I should put on my wall right when I get out of bed. Be someone you can be proud of today. Prove to yourself that you are capable of whatever it is that you're setting out to do, and you're worthy of this, new lease on life that you get having gone through something really traumatic. It's going to take hard work, and it's going to take discipline and time, and it's a work in progress. I haven't mastered it, but it's rewarding. It certainly beats the alternative of constantly compromising, constantly letting yourself down, constantly selling yourself short, and then feeling lost and unsure of things, no sense of self, depressed, lonely, and angry with yourself, and just inner disappointment. It's a much better alternative. So we'll do another video soon. Remember, hang in there, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute at a time. You can get through whatever you're going through. If you agree with this shit, give me an amen. If you think I'm crazy, I probably shouldn't have said said shit and then amen. That didn't sound right. That's probably going to be a nick on my record. But all jokes aside, if you don't agree and you have another perspective, or you think I'm absolutely full of it, it's all good. You can say so if you feel the need to down below. If this rang some truth to you and it can be as useful to you as it's been to me, and I've had this preached to me as well, then that's awesome, and I'm really glad, and I hope it helps. I hope it means something to you. But whatever it is you're trying to do, you can do it. You can do it. Just prove to yourself you can. Build that confidence.